Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Let's talk about the Powder of Hope. I am a little bit late to this particular one, completely forgotten about this section right here. So every time whenever there's a new Powder of Hope comes out, I'll try to give my perspective and priorities in terms of which one I think is going to be the best one for players to try to obtain right now. So let's talk a little bit more about this. So by far, if you are looking to pick only two characters, and you're limited on the currency, which is this currency right here, right above my head, so you can look at either Luventia or DJ Venaka. These two are going to be by far the more meta characters, right, in terms of like usability and how often you're going to use them. Now Sherazade, Magic School Professor, she did get buffed recently. So what they did for this particular costume is they changed her from attacking 5 times to 7 times, making her a very good chain stacker. Now that can be useful in some situations, sure, but she's not the only character that can do that, right? We have a lot of other options, including Austin, Celia is going to be better by far, and of course there's going to be a few other ones that can basically have that, right? But she's not bad if you're trying to stack a bunch of chains. She is going to be very useful in that particular situation. In fact, I can see in some situation, if she is going to be your main DPS, main damage dealer, pair up with a few other ones, including the regular Sherazade, the codename S1, and the pool party Sherazade. So all of these combined is definitely going to make her a very interesting value as a character overall, right? Because right now, if you're looking to build like a water meta character, right, if you care about water DPS as a whole, another option is going to be Yuumi, but she's no longer available to players, sadly, because of the right now Yuumi is this character right here. She is going to be one of the better ones if you're looking to hit enemies in the straight line, and your only other option is pretty much going to be Sherazade, right? I guess Morpia counts, but I think Morpia is going to be a little bit trickier to use, a little bit more finicky. So other than that, if you don't have Yuumi, she's a collab character, Senran Kagura exclusive. I'm not sure if she's going to rerun, right? Have no idea. But other than that, Sherazade is going to be pretty much your other option, right? So let's talk about the other few then. She is going to be pretty decent if you have the other costumes, but if not, then I would recommend either DJ Venaka or Deal Snatcher Luventia. Now, if I have to pick one personally, right, I'm definitely going to lean slightly towards Deal Snatcher Luventia. Now, it's hard to say who is better between these two. It depends on number one, who you're trying to, which team you're trying to focus on right now, right? Because I'm going to assume some of you guys are new and you're watching this because you're thinking, should I get one of these characters right now? So, Venaka is good if you are building a magic team. Alright, Menaka is going to be a wind type magic DPS character similar to Dalvi, whereas Luventia is going to be a physical dark type physical character, right? So both of them are going to be pretty much the best in their element in terms of those category, either wind or dark type. Now early on, it is going to be recommended to get as many different DPS as possible so that you have much different rosters. It is going to make up for a lot of things that you can do, right? Flexibility for future Fin Hunter and stuff. I feel like DJ Venaka is good. Now in terms of, let's break it down a little bit, right? So if you are trying to build magic teams, again, probably going to be much easier for a lot of players because of Dalvi right now, right? So Dalvi is available right now, and then you also got B rank idol Helena, which you can get for free, +5, very easy right there. You can pretty much make a magic team much easier than a physical team, so from that perspective, Venaka's value is going to be quite high. However, getting them at low plus, alright, so if you don't have her at high plus, you get her at +0. Alright, this is going to be how much she can do. So assuming you potentially liberate her, very important, you want to try to get this range. That's going to be very important. She's going to be about 3 turns and 400%. It's still going to be quite good, right? She can also help decrease magic resistance as well, help improve your Dalvi's damage, and you can basically pair them pretty well. Ideally, +1 is going to make more sense because she becomes 3 SP. I think at 4 SP, she's going to be a little bit way more difficult to use, right? In a lot of cases, I feel like probably for her, she makes more sense if you are new. Alright, especially I understand that missing out on her multiplier is going to make a lot of sense, right? It's going to hurt a lot in her viability, but you are also going to have Dalvi in that particular case. Hopefully can carry you in a bunch of the story campaigns and the story packs, etc, etc, right? So you can see right here 400%, 475 goes up to 550, 625 and 700%, right? So one of the highest multiplier character ever. Now 700% I would say pretty good. I would say she is probably going to complement your team more. For a lot of newer players, if you start recently, she's probably going to be better for your team, especially if you follow my advice so far regarding building a magic team. Alright, you have the Helena, and then you also have Summer Therese, which I do recommend you guys to pull. Summer Therese, Helena, Dalvi, that's going to make sure that your chain remains at less than 5. Watch my previous video to see what's the best team that you can make, but ideally this is going to be what it is, right? Very, very good in that particular case. So Luventia on the other hand, I think she's better because in the last night, for endgame players, right? So if you are new, maybe Venaka is better, but Luventia is probably a little bit better because she, number one, she does more damage. Number two, she's one of the best characters to use in last night boss, alright? So why I don't recommend her as much as Venaka? There's a couple of issues here, right? If you are a new player. Number one is, you might not have Liberta, which is going to be a character that basically enables her, right? Homunculus Lethal is going to be decent, but I feel like Liberta is going to be way better with her. Liberta has 2 costumes, alright? So one costume does, let me just talk a little bit more about Liberta a little bit so you guys know, right? One costume is going to be the one that gives you the, where is she? So this one, right? This one gives you the crit rate and also the physical attack %, right? That one is whatever, this one is universal, it works on everyone. Now this other costume, however, insanely good with Luventia because it applies augmentation effect allies for 4 turns, increasing the damage dealt to enemies with 10 chains or more by 120%. Again, it pairs really, really well with Luventia because Luventia is one of the few characters with the highest chain in the game, alright? She can do 8 times chain. It doesn't really quite reach the 10 times, but because she has 8 chain, alright, if you pair with something like Rafitia, the wedding Rafitia costume, that's going to give you much more viability in that particular case, right? So it is going to be very, very strong. Plus Luventia is going to be probably better if there's only one target. She's one of the highest damage dealer in the game for last night as well, right? Competing with like Office, Nebri, not Homunculus Lethal, the Path of Vengeance Lethal and those characters, right? And the Office Michaela. So she is going to help you in that particular area. I feel like for a lot of players, if you get her, definitely she can help you later on. Now they did recently buff Ilenia as well. I don't think I did test Ilenia on my own. I don't think her damage is even close. Now to be fair, I don't really have Ilenia at potential liberated max out. Where is my Ilenia? Okay, this one. So as you can see, I don't really have this one at max potential liberation and this particular one as well. But that's going to be one more thing to consider, right? So I feel like for the light physical type DPS right now, definitely goes to Liberta. I mean Luventia, why did I say Liberta right there? Luventia, right? Now the only problem is, like I mentioned, if you don't have Liberta, she's going to be much more finicky to use. That's number one. Number two is, I feel like she needs the other costume, alright? So that you can have both costumes rotate around together, right? So ideally you want to use them together. Now what about Venaka though? Venaka seems more fine because she is going to be, even though she has one costume only, right? And I get it, that's going to be also an issue, right? You ideally want to have both costumes as well. But the truth is, if you pair with Dalvi, that effectiveness, that lack of that costume might not be that bad because whatever area that Venaka can cover, because she hits front, right? And then Dalvi hits skip. Hopefully you are able to have those two combo and get rid of as many enemies from the map as possible, right? Ideally, I still think that you should try to get both. But for a lot of players, I think Luventia is probably going to be harder for a new player to fully utilize her kit compared to someone like Venaka, which is way more simpler. Also, if you did pull for Swimsuit Therese, right? And the Beachside Angel Therese, she doesn't work or synergize with Luventia because Luventia hits the enemy 8 times. That means 8 chains, right? And Therese needs the character that you have paired with to do 5 chains or less to get that boost, which is 200% damage. So you can see a few issues here and there, right? Ideally for endgame player like myself, right, you have plenty of roster, you can mix and match much easier, but for new players, those are going to limit her potential as a whole. So if you can only pick one, if you're new, I would recommend moving slightly towards Venaka. If you are late game, maybe Luventia because she has higher damage ceiling and better potential, right? Otherly, these two, I would say, are one of the best DPS in their class right now, if you can obtain, depending on the element, right? So you should try to get them if you can, alright? So we still have 600 Powder of Hope. Now, if you care about getting Wilhelmina, let's say you didn't get her, you want to get her copies, sure, that could be an option as well. Now, what about Glacia then? I feel like she's not needed as much, right? So this particular Glacia one, I did try her in PvP. Probably better for most players to stick with Sherazade, so that's going to be what it is. For now, I feel like she is going to be much more niche. You can use her in PvP, maybe in some much more niche scenario in PvE, but in most like Fiend Hunter or in like guild raids, you're never going to use someone like Glacia, or most defenders generally, right? Except for Seer. I guess Seer is the only exception to that rule, but pretty much that's what it is. You can skip her, right? So for most players, these two should be your priority, alright, depending on which team you want to focus on. Sherazade, maybe third one, and then the least priority in my opinion is going to be Alice Glacia. But if you can get both of these, Venaka and Luventia, I would say that's going to be a good choice. Anyways, that's going to be it for this particular video, guys. I have a tier list video coming really soon. It is a very long video. I'm trying to see if I can edit and reduce the duration of the video. That's going to take some time. Been editing the whole day. Hopefully I'll get it done and upload as soon as I can, right? Should be today or tomorrow, so depending on when it is, right? So with that being said, that is going to be it for this particular video. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Hope you guys enjoyed Brown Dust 2. I love making these videos for you guys. As long as you guys are enjoying the game, that's the most important, right? Hopefully you guys have fun. Alright, it's one of the most generous developers that I know. That's it. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, give this video a like. Have a nice day. Bye bye.